There's no IKEA diagram about how to put this thing together. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tara East. I'm a writer, blogger, YouTuber, and the author of the mystery novel, Every Time He Dies. And in this week's video, I want to talk about creative uncertainty. Now I'm not gonna lie, this idea is a little underbaked, but let's just see where this goes. Uncertainty is creativity's companion. Whenever we're working on a writing project, there will be multiple times when you question the work in both small and large ways. You may second guess the ending, the whole narrative arc, or even which character is the protagonist. I know I've done this. A line of dialogue can be reworked over 15 times because you're just not really sure if the response to a request should be affirmative or sarcastic. Picking character names or even nailing down their physical description can be alarmingly time-consuming, but also lots of fun. Writing is constant decision-making, which is partly why it's so exhausting, but it's also tricky because our options are often limitless. It's true that as a story gets further and further developed, that range of possibility becomes more narrow and more fixed. But the feeling of uncertainty doesn't ever truly go away, it usually just changes form. Instead of feeling uncertain about the nuts and bolts elements of the work, you may start to worry about whether the book as a whole is good. You might start to second guess the project as a whole, your ability to execute particular techniques like can you pull this off? Or you might even second guess decisions that you made early on in the piece. This type of questioning is totally normal and it's kind of a good thing because it shows that you care about the work and writing in general. However, if you become too engaged with this type of questioning, then we run the risk of losing our trust in the intuitive process and our creative selves. Uncertainty is part of creativity because there is no guidebook out there to tell you how to write this particular book. And even though other books and authors might have inspired your work, there's no IKEA diagram about how to put this thing together. Being a writer means learning how to decipher when these questions are legitimately highlighting an issue in the text. Is the book actually not working? And trying to figure out when maybe these sort of criticisms are just hot air and your inner critic sort of just having a rampage. If it's the later, if the issue is really just your inner critic, then writing down those criticisms can be one way to get it out of your head and to move on. If the issue is the former, then the problem you're worrying about will likely become pronounced within the work, such as realizing that there is a major plot hole or that you are telling it from the wrong character's perspective. It becomes obvious and you can't move forward until you correct it. Such realizations are rarely fun in the moment, but they can bring relief later on, including the building of your confidence in the story itself. We can workshop our stories with beta readers or with other trusted friends or editors. Ultimately though, the decision will always be made by yourself and you have to live with the consequences. That sounds awfully dramatic, but it's also true. The work is your own and your decisions need to reflect that. After all, it's your name on the cover. It is easy to become obsessed with making the story perfect or obsessing over needing to make the right decision. There are aspects of my first book that I wish I could change now, but I don't regret publishing it. The book is good and I'm proud of it and it's out there in the world and I'm really happy to be working on other things now. Will future me say the same thing about my current books that I'm working on? Probably, but I can't speak for how my future self will perceive my present day work. Uncertainty exists on so many levels within our creative practice because you don't know what impact your writing will have on others. But that is also what makes it kind of exciting. Now I'd love to hear from you. Do you have any strategies for dealing with uncertainty within your own practice? I'd love to know, so please share your comments below. Now, if you'd like even more writing advice, you can of course check out the other videos on this channel. There is a bunch of them. Or you can go to taraeast.com and dive into the archives. While you're there, please consider joining my email newsletter. When you do, I'll send you a free gift, which is a 20-minute video called The Follow-Through Formula: How to Complete a Long-Term Writing Project. You'll also receive a newsletter in your inbox every Thursday morning, including a note by me, a quote of the week, some resources I've recently discovered and think you'll enjoy too, as well as some tidbits that I only share via email. Thank you so much for being here again this week. I really appreciate it. Stay safe, stay calm, and keep writing, because the world actually does need more books.